What is up, everybody? Welcome to Best Ball Live, brought to you by DraftKings. I'm your host, Connor Allen from 4-4. Joining me today is one of my favorite people in the industry and an absolute legend in the Instagram streets, Faraz from Upper Hand Fantasy. We had that pleasure of hanging out in Chicago a few weeks back, man. Have you finally recovered, or how are you feeling?
I think I'm almost there. I'm almost fully recovered. But listen, man, it's always a good time seeing you, on stream, but also in person. I'm so glad that we were able to catch up, in Chicago in person. It was a blast. But yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. Yeah, I think we got to do a couple of Chicago rite of passages, hit up some cool, rooftop places and, meet a bunch of cool people. It was a great event, put on by, FSJ and everything. So that was awesome. But so today, you and I are going to be drafting a DraftKings best ball team in their massive prize pool, $15 million total prizes, including $2 million to first place. And so let me hop in that. It's a $20 entry. And we can do some other, little ad reads here. It is their best ball week too. So I did one of these drafts yesterday, and there was some wild stuff going on. It was like Joe Burrow went in the first round. Oh, we have the third pick. Oh, nice. This loaded quick. We have the third pick. It was some crazy shit. So, all right, third pick. Who are you interested in here? Are you a Barkley guy? Are you Chase, Jefferson? What does that look like ideally?
Listen, man, I love taking a receiver in the first round. But if Bijan's there, like he's somebody like I'll make an exception for, in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always have to get a stack, with one of these elite receivers. You can always get a stack a little bit later.
Yep.
But yeah, like if Bijan's there at 3, like I'm pretty happy about it. What about you?
Love it. Yeah, I've been mixing it up. I really think there are not too many holes to poke, especially in these top 5 or 6 guys potentially.
Yeah.
Like I've really just had mixed exposure. I have been going with more Chase and Jefferson over Barkley.
Same here.
Why necessarily? It's more of just like a touch count thing. So many touches, but it's like sorry, internet cut out there. All good now, I think, right? You hear me?
Yeah,
clear?
I think we're good. All
right. Sweet. Just a random StreamYard refresh here. But yeah, I've been kind of mixed exposure at the top here. But so far in drafts, have you preferred drafting from like the front, like, the top 3, the back, or the middle so far?
You know what, man? I've kind of been enjoying the front a little bit because I'm not, I kind of like the 2-3 turn, depending on who falls and what platform I'm playing on. Sometimes that 2-3 turn is pretty sweet because like guys like Devontae and Rashi, depending on the format, depending on the platform you're playing on, can be there. So like I get pretty excited about the combination of the first 3 guys I can get in the first 3 rounds. But
yeah.
I think the safe spot's always the middle though. Like that's like kind of where the sweet spot is in terms of like if you want to play it safe.
Yeah, and you can kind of catch some falling values in the middle. I don't remember who exactly was talking about it. Maybe it was like a Football Guys article or something like that, where I think it was a Sigmund Bloom thing where he drafts in the middle and it can always like scoop up the values left on either sides, by the edges there. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And then also, before we get on the clock, some key differences here between DraftKings and other sites. This is full PPR. You start 3 wide receivers in a flex. It's also 20 rounds, not 18. And then as a reminder, this is best ball, so we draft the team, don't have to touch it. Hopefully Faraz and I are, in Vegas celebrating the $2 million win together, by the end of the season. But, we'll get there when we get there.
Right. Just to be clear, like we're splitting this, right?
Of course.
Like
yeah,
50,
we're splitting
50,
this.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Like I just want to clear that up front. You know what I mean? Everybody heard it. Just want to make sure.
Absolutely. So I free roll the league. So I pay up front and then we split the winnings. It's like your appearance
listen,
fee. You know what I mean?
I'll Venmo you $10. Oh, Bijan. There we go. All right.
Bijan goes second. Go. Wow.
I think we got to go JJ here.
All right, let's go JJ. All right.
Right.
Let's do it.
Is that what you were feeling?
Yeah, I've been going more JJ over Barkley, but I mean, again, like I think all these guys, you can make a legit case to be the 100%. Highest scoring fantasy player. I did see, I think it was one of your rankings. Maybe I was scrolling through the IG pages that you have Nico Collins, like I think like wide receiver 2 or 3. Tell me more about that.
I have him at 3. Yeah, I do. I just think that, with Nick Caley coming over, bringing the Sean McVay system over, if you look at the last 3 coaches, the offensive coaches to leave Sean McVay, their wide receiver went on to have their best season of their career. Their wide receiver won the best season of their career. Chris Godwin was actually on his way last year, before he
Yep.
got hurt. So this is another one of those things where just because there are a lot of receivers there, and by the way, I know we're potentially on the clock here sometime soon. Just you can cut me off anytime you want.
No, you're good. I'll cut you off
Okay,
when we
great.
get close, but we got a
Sounds
while.
good.
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Just because there are so many wide receivers on the Texans, like you just count them, right? You got Christian Kirk, you got Higgins, and you got Jalen Noel. Just because you got all those guys doesn't mean that target share is going to be taken away from Nico, right? The alphas are going to eat first, and I truly believe he's an elite wide receiver. He's up there in that tier, with the top receivers in the NFL. So I just think that he's going to earn 27-28% target share next year, and his ability down the field. I know there's a little bit of concern in terms of the Houston offensive line, but sometimes scheme can fix a lot of that and hide a lot of that, I should say. And I think Nico is going to be eaten underneath as well on slants and stuff like that. It's not just deep routes, but I just think he's going to just command a huge target share. He's so talented, so underrated. I see a huge year for him coming.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think that, I mean, he's like a tried and true alpha. Like he is. He's awesome. He can run deep. Like he's in a league now where I think there's very few just like true X receivers that can just dominate. Like, the Demaryius Thomases, Des Bryant's, like the bigger mold. Like Nico still exists, and he's like one of the few there. Because like I would say, Puka to some extent, but you see CD, you see Justin Jefferson, even Chase. They move into the slot a lot, which is great for fantasy, but it's not the same. It's a different type of dominance. I'll say that.
100%. Like I agree. That archetype of that true big bodied X receiver, like he embodies that, right? Which we don't see a lot of. A lot of that doesn't come our way, nowadays, especially in today's NFL.
Yeah, and I think that I prefer him over Neighbors this year. I think Puka is close, and I think CD is close. I do love CD Lamb a lot this year. Just think the Cowboys running game is going to be such a disaster. I think Pickens actually complements CD really, really well. I'm bullish on all of them. So
I'm with you on that compliment call. Like I just think that they're one of the best compliments in the NFL. You look at the types of routes that CD runs, underneath, intermediate, and what George Pickens does best. And honestly, what Dak does best too. Like Dak is a beast, going deep. Like that's one of his best attributes. So him and George Pickens, like I'm not even a big Pickens guy. I've never been a big Pickens guy, especially when he was running alongside Deontay, a true target earner.
Right.
For me, like this is a match made in heaven, to be honest.
Oh yeah, totally agree. Also, one of my favorite bets right now for futures, you give it Dak Prescott to have 4,500 passing yards. It's like 6-1 or 5-1, something like that. He did it 2 years ago and was on pace last year before his injury. And now added George Pickens. They're still not going to be able to run the ball. There's still question marks on defense, I think. So, maybe he doesn't hit it, but like he's going to be right around there. So I think 5-6-1 is pretty interesting. All right, we are 3 picks away. Bowers, AJ Brown, Rashee Rice, Bucky Irving, top of the board in DraftKings. Any thoughts here? We started with Justin Jefferson, obviously.
I am really, really hoping that Rashee can fall here. We're talking full PPR. We're talking somebody who could potentially lead the NFL in receptions next year. I'm bullish, heavy on Rashee Rice this season. I think he could be an easy top 10 wide receiver. So I'm hoping, like, it's weird for me to potentially take Rashee over AJ Brown, if that were to be the case. Right. And I hope it's not, because I don't want to look, that dumb, in 8 months. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping that he's right there.
Well, we're guaranteed one of them. So, Rashee just went. So now we're left with AJ Brown.
I think I'm okay with it. Where are you leaning? Are you leaning AJ? I think I'm cool with that.
I think AJ Brown's a great pick here. I think the bull case for AJ Brown relies on their volume. He was one of the league leaders in first half receiving yards. They just didn't have to throw the ball in the second half. Now, there's nothing really on paper that would suggest they're due for regression defensively or like game script wise, but just inevitably things happen. Teams get worse in some areas. They have injuries. The Eagles were super healthy for the most part as well. So like, I think that they are likely, almost certainly gonna have to throw more than they did last year. And AJ Brown, again, another alpha. We're talking about alphas. He's another alpha that can play outside and just dominate here. But we're up almost again here. Tyreek, Trey McBride, T. Higgins, Chase Brown. I think 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, no running backs. I'm really interested in Chase Brown if he makes it to us, but also don't mind any of these other guys in this area too.
Let's go Chase Brown. If you're telling me that you're a Chase Brown guy, I'm not gonna deny you here, Connor. Okay, because I'm also a Chase Brown guy as well. Like he's up there, if he's on the clock, I'm bullish on him. I just think that I had to fight off the Blake Corum army last year, dude. With Kyron Williams, and this year I got to fight off the Taj Brooks army. Like, who are these people? Like, where are they coming from? Like, I don't get it, man. Chase Brown is going to have a great role. And even if Samaje Perine, takes up, that third down pass and down role, Chase Brown had a ton of his targets and receptions on early down. So, like, we're all good there. We're all good there. We're talking about a team that's going to throw more than any other team in the NFL. He's going to get a ton of targets. I'll be super excited. What will be really disappointing is if he doesn't drop to us right now. That'll be
that's it. You got probably. I mean, if this guy goes three, oh no, he went Kyron. Okay, he went 3 running backs, but did not pick Chase Brown. I think Chase Brown's got to be the move here. I echo everything you said. It was, great breakdown there. Also want to add too, like, he was a workhorse in college at Illinois. Like, he was, like, people kind of boxed him into this role of thinking, oh, well, he might just be a change of pace back behind Zach Moss as a rookie. Now, he wasn't super good on his volume of touches, but like, he's explosive and he can be. He's going to get volume in what I consider to probably be the highest scoring offense this year, likely in the Bengals, because they did nothing to address the defense. Anything they did do, Shamar Stewart might not even play. Trey Hendrickson, potentially, who knows with the contract situation there. So, like, this defense could be just like a disaster again. So I think Chase Brown is a great spot.
The offense is just like, every time you turn on the Bengals game, the offense is going to be on the field, like, straight up. You know what I mean? So
right.
I'm with you. Like, this is going to be a really fun offense to watch. There's going to be a lot of scoring, and they're going to lose games. And it's just it is what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. I'll be honest. I wasn't the biggest Chase Brown fan coming out when he was coming out of college. I saw him at the Senior Bowl. It was one of the most disappointing Senior Bowls I've ever seen out of a running back. It was really, really bad. It was so bad. But this guy just straight up improved. He improved a ton. So good on him. You know what I mean? He knew what he needed to work on, and Joe Burrow trusted him a ton in the receiving game last year. And listen, man, his in terms of weighted opportunity, in PPR, we're talking like 2.5, 2.6x the amount of fantasy points that you get for a target versus a carry. That's what it's all about when it comes to Chase Brown.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a great point there as well. You mentioned the Senior Bowl. Did you go this year?
Yeah, man. I've been going for the last 4 or 5 years now. It's an absolute blast. Unfortunately, Jim Nagy's not the he doesn't run it anymore. He's the GOAT, when it comes to that stuff. But I'm looking forward to the rest of for this new guy to come in. I forgot his name. But I'm looking forward to it. I go every year. I love it. I think it does give us a little bit of an edge in terms of, like, scouting these players and, kind of getting, just seeing them, right? You can look at the spreadsheets, you can look at the film all you want, but when you see them up close in person, like, it's a little bit more insight.
I totally agree. Anyone that you saw this year, the Senior Bowl, that you were like, damn, like, this guy is going to rock?
Oh, that's a great question. I think Jaden Higgins
or suck. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Jaden Higgins was a little bit iffy, to start off, to start it off. You know what I mean? But like throughout the rest of his time, he was pretty damn good. I'm actually, like, it's interesting because, like, I'm looking at Senior Bowl was such a long time ago that now I have to actually, like, look at my notes to see, like, who was actually, like, really good at the Senior Bowl. Oh, Jack Besh was awesome. He was really, really good. He came on a ton, like, late. He had one of the best days. I think the tight ends, Terrence Ferguson, for me, like, he looked so good. And I was surprised when watching him and also looking at his numbers, like, why is this guy going to be a day 3 pick? I don't really understand. But then he turned out to be a day 2 pick, and I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. Huge fan. I am not overly convinced that he's not going to see I think he's going to see the field more than people think this year, man.
I mean, really, you have a player who, like, they spent heavy draft capital on, and Puka Nacua was a 5th round pick. Like, he was a 5th round NFL draft pick. And now you're getting a tight end who's, behind Tyler Higbee, who's, like, injured, banged up. There's the video of McVay basically saying that how much he loved Terrence Ferguson. He was, like, one of his favorite players in that round, that they were so excited to get him. Like, Ben Solak actually just recently mentioned him in his latest ESPN article about, like, players to watch of like early season breakouts potentially. So I know that I think he's one of my favorite late round targets this year. Like, legit. There's a chance that, maybe Devontae isn't all the way there. Maybe Puka gets hurt. Maybe he's just the good third option. Like, that's also a possibility as well. Anyways, I'll stop waxing about T-Ferg. We'll get there later. We have DK still here, Hampton, Sutton. We're on the clock. If any of these guys send out Tet, like, I think a lot of ways we can go here.
Oh my God. I hate where we are right now. This is a brutal spot for me. I don't I just the ceiling on a lot of these players I don't absolutely love. Like for me, like I probably go Hampton here, but are you
Okay.
leaning one of these receivers? Because I'm on board with it if you are.
All right. What do you like, Ted or no? Actually, let's go
Yeah, let's
Hampton.
do it.
We
Let's
have
do it.
all right. Few seconds. I panicked and went Hampton. I think the
Okay,
upside here is
okay.
massive. Obviously, the Najee fireworks stuff is significant here. Like because it just gives Hampton more time in training camp to get reps with the ones, to get more respect from the coaching staff. Like it was always, in my opinion, viewed as like an inevitability that he was going to take over. It's just like I think this accelerated that, and so
Yeah.
this makes him an even better pick. I think at the current ADP.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, I was a little bit low on him, for the most part, because I did believe that Najee was just going to be a big part of it. Now, if we could come around here and actually get Tet or Pickens here, I would be really happy.
Looks like Ted just
Because
went, unfortunately. But yeah, I do
Tet
like
just
Ted
went.
as well. I think if I was doing this solo, I probably would have gone Hampton or Ted.
Tet, yeah, makes
Um,
sense.
just
Yeah,
like
Tet's just going to get a ton of volume, man. That's really what
yeah,
it comes down to.
ton of volume. He does best what I think Bryce started doing well. And anytime I can back fellow former fantasy / analyst Eric Eager and anything that any skill player that he drafts, like I feel like we have to, right? Like it's just like it's so good.
100%, man. And you're looking at here, who just went before Pickens?
Let's see here.
Metcalf went off the board, so I think it's a pretty easy pick
I
at
think
this point,
Pickens,
right?
right?
I think
Yeah.
Pickens is the move here. DK just came off the board, so he's not a huge option for me in best ball to begin with, honestly.
Yeah.
And I like the player. I don't love the fit. He's a little bit limited in terms of what his skill set is. When he was with Pickens in Pittsburgh, I'm like, these guys got the same player, like, and
Yeah.
like two of the same player, like same archetype, like deep ball specialist type of guy. But I love Pickens here. I actually think our first 5 picks here, man, Jefferson, AJ Brown, Chase Brown, Hampton, Pickens, like I like this a lot, and Hampton I like a lot more in best ball. And what I was going to say earlier is that like Greg Roman, he had J.K. Dobbins, second round pick, 60 yards per carry his rookie season. Like he was balling, touchdowns, reaching the end zone. But guess what? He didn't give him any more opportunity. Gus Edwards was like continuing to get the rock the entire season, including the playoffs. So, what makes you think that Omarion Hampton, yes, he's a first round pick, sure. But it's not like Greg, it's not like, Greg Roman's looking at like the stats that we look at and said, like, all right, first round picks usually get this much, then spending touches,
Right.
per game in their rookie season. Like, yeah, sure. We could do that all we want, but I do feel like Najee was going to be, a big part of the backfield, regardless. It could have been a 50-50 split. This could easily be an over pick, right, with Hampton here. Best ball, way more attractive. Because there's going to be some games where it could be a Najee game, or it could be a game where Hampton gets 12 carries, 13 carries, and it's just all empty because he doesn't get in the end zone. There could be a lot of factors here, but that's kind of how I'm viewing this backfield right now.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that as well. So yeah, in best ball, I think we're in a good spot here, late 4th, RB2. We don't need him to be like a, stud from day one. Like, he's like a late 4th round pick. So he can be a fine RB2, and we'll be able to fill out the rest of our roster too with obviously other guys with upside. I do want to call out some of the wide receivers in this range. I think that Jalen Waddle is a really interesting pick in like the mid 5th round at this point with Jonnu gone. Tyreek, I don't really know what to do with. I think it could go either way. He could be like some of his metrics from fantasy points were really not good in terms of vertical breaking routes. He obviously was dealing with a wrist injury. Was he just like not carrying because he had like, the blind throwing him the ball basically half the season? Like, I don't know. We don't really know what the deal was, but I still think either way, like I think Waddle should play a bigger role. If Tua is healthy, it's the same argument you make with HN, with Hill, with Waddle. Like I think all of them are values if Tua is healthy. If he's not, then I mean, it's over. Like you got nothing probably.
It's interesting because the more I'm watching this offense, the more like it's like, can I trust Mike McDaniel? And it's like, he's running this offense. Last year, he ran the offense through HN, through Jonnu Smith, and obviously their offensive line was a huge issue, right? So now you're looking at a situation where, like, okay, Tua, a couple like a month ago, they asked him, "Hey, what are you working on? Like, what's your focus this offseason?" And he said, "I'm trying to get rid of the ball quicker." Last year, he was getting rid of the ball the second lowest time. So he was
fast.
already getting the ball so crazy fast, and now he wants to get rid of it faster. Does that scream Tyreek Hill to you? It doesn't to me, and that's brutal. That sucks. And I'm not taking that as gospel, but it's just something to kind of keep in mind. At the same time, I'm taking my shots on Tyreek, man, because it could be an extreme value at that spot.
Right. Like I'm mixing some in. I think in my higher stakes league, I might not be in. All right, this last couple picks went super fast.
Yep.
We're at 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. We can really go anywhere on the board here.
There's one guy
and-
who stands out to me who has
Okay.
a little bit of a higher ceiling, I think, and that's Juwan Jennings.
I
Now,
totally agree.
I don't know, where are we right now? How many picks away are we? We're 3 picks away.
Yeah,
So
1 pick away now at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you would consider this a reach. But I think there's a chance that he won't be on the board when we're back here. So I kind of want to take my shot.
I mean, I straight up 1-to-1 prefer him over every other player in this.
Okay,
this rate.
perfect.
So,
yeah,
I'm with I don't really care about the current contract trades thing. I think the Niners are going to pay him. Someone made a good point that like Raheem Mostert kind of did a similar thing a couple of years ago when he knew that the Niners were weak and had like nothing at running back, and so then he kind of held him hostage a little bit, and they paid him like a little bit more, and he was good.
And Jennings isn't going to get paid. He's not going to get a crazy bag. I don't think that's what he wants, right? He's going to get paid. He's going to get a good, decent contract, and he'll be happy, right? Like he's not getting paid like Garrett Wilson just got paid, but he'll get paid. He's going to get paid more than whatever. What is it, like the $7 million that he's owed this year,
right?
So I'm with you. It doesn't bother me at all.
All right, cool. We're in the same boat there. Where do we want to go here? We're up in 2 picks. A lot of like low floor, high upside guys.
Exactly. Like, do you look at Jacoby Myers and look at him as a high upside guy? I look at him as a high floor guy to me.
Yeah, he's a high floor guy. But like Jordan Addison, I think is going to get suspended. Deebo Samuel could just be like fat as shit and be terrible. Like Aaron Jones, if he stays healthy, is going to nuke. But he's like, you know, I think
he's off the board anyway.
So
he's off the board. I mean, I think. Oh, like listen. Here's the 2 guys I'm looking at. Looking at Isaiah Pacheco, and I'm looking at Stephon Diggs. Those are the 2 guys I'm looking at. I think Diggs is going to be the clear number 1 there. If you want to go receiver, Connor, I'll go Diggs. If you want to go running back, I'll go Pacheco. That's where I'm at.
So we're at 2-4 right now. Pacheco would be more of a balance. Diggs would make us go running back heavier later. But Diggs does open us up to like some Drake May stuff, like
which I love.
Let's do that. Let's roll with Diggs.
Okay, great.
Pacheco, I keep going back and forth on because like initially I was like, man, this guy's a value. Like he was like one of my favorite picks in the 3rd, 4th round last year. I'm like, this guy's awesome. Was crushing and then just got injured and then came back and was like the worst running back in the league. Like they benched him basically for Kareem Hunt down the stretch.
It's the fibula thing, man. Tony Pollard had the same injury and he was terrible the year after. Pacheco at least came back in the season and he was able to suck in the same season. So the hope is that he's coming back this year and looking a lot better, just like Tony Pollard did last year, right? Tony Pollard, was up there in terms of efficiency and stuff like that. So like he was kind of back to who he was. So Pacheco is definitely a gamble. Right? It's either you're getting a potential RB1 or you're getting somebody who's unusable, right? The fact that Kareem Hunt was used so much last year, being as overly inefficient as he was dead last in like every single category that we care about. He was so bad, yet he got 200 carries, right? So like, I think Pacheco can potentially do his thing. But listen, man, I want to go back to what you said about Diggs, a potential stack with Drake May. I absolutely love it. I actually think we have some unique stack opportunities here, man. With some later quarterbacks, right? You got the Purdy with Jennings, you got Dak with Pickens, you got Drake May with Diggs, which is probably my favorite. I think I think that might be the highest upside one, just because of how much I believe in Drake May this year. He's one of my favorite targets overall in any format. Just because I have so many reasons why I think Drake May is just going to go crazy this year.
Oh yeah, I mean I think Diggs adding May at some point, and then I've liked adding some Kyle Williams a little bit later too. He's like a 12th, 13th rounder. Just like I don't know if he's going to be consistent. I don't know if he's a great like redraft pick, but in best ball, he's going to have some boom week. I think. I'll
tell you this, man. He was another standout at the Senior Bowl. All right.
Really? Okay.
Yep. He looked great. Looked really good separator, really good route runner against man coverage was really good. And like, I was happy where they drafted him relatively early too. So, good draft capital. I'm with it. I'm a fan of Kyle. He's a funny guy too. He's a great guy. He's like a funny interview. So I'm rooting for him. I hope he becomes big time so we can hear more of his interviews. Like I really think he's going to be a interesting character.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, he's
Uh,
great. And Puka, you mentioned Puka earlier, like with
yeah.
when we were hyping up Terrence Ferguson. Puka is somebody who we also saw at the Senior Bowl, who was like one of my guys coming out of the Senior Bowl as well, who absolutely killed it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm telling you, man, Senior Bowl is where it's at. It's a really, really fun event.
Yeah, you're getting the inside peek into the actual players and what they're like. One of my favorite guys that I saw in person last year was Pat Bryant out of Illinois. I saw him play a
Yes.
couple of times, and he just was like he didn't test all that well. He didn't have like
Right.
insane like dominant metrics, but like in the games, like when I watched, he was just like very clearly the best player on the field, which may not have been
Right.
saying much considering Illinois played against like they're Big Ten, but like he
Sure.
was just like dominant. Like he was very clearly
Right.
the best player on the field. So I was like, okay, this guy's probably got a little bit of juice. The Broncos drafted him pretty high, like 12 picks after RJ Harvey, something like that. So everyone's talking
Right.
about Harvey. I like Harvey, but
Exactly.
I mean, Pat Bryant's like a
It,
17th,
Pat
18th
Bryant's
round pick.
also he's competing for a very interesting role too, right? Like
Yep,
a big slot role for Sean Payton. Like that's interesting to me. And you can't
100%.
deny how much Sean Payton talked him up, after he
Yeah.
drafted him, right? So
Are you a Jordan Mason guy? Or are
I am.
you
I'm a
okay?
Jordan Mason guy,
I think
hundred
this would
percent.
be a good spot to add a third running back here. We're up in one pick. Evan Ingram's also on the board. I don't mind him as well. I mean,
Yeah, but the
open
thing
to a
is,
lot
like
of directions here.
Mason might be like the last possible running back that you can get some serious standalone value from.
Yeah,
Um, right. So I kind
I
of
think
feel
we
like
go there.
if you're looking at the tier drop off, I think Mason might be the pick here.
Yeah,
Um,
let's roll
oh man,
Mason. And I've liked kind of getting this spot where we have like 2 or 3 solid running backs, and then sprinkle in some base shell twos
handcuffs.
and some like random
Hmm.
guys later. You know.
Yep, 100%, man. And I'll be honest, like Egbuka here, like I know, like we reached right after Egbuka, like he is low key like one of my guys, like in best
Ibuka.
ball this year.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Emeka Egbuka is like one of my. He's for when you look at his talent compared to where he's being drafted, like I totally understand like the competition this year, and I get it. We had to face the issue with Roma Dunze. We had to face it with JSN their rookie years, but I'm still taking my shots, man. I'm just a big fan of the talent.
He's also going a little bit later than those guys were going, if I remember correctly. They were like 7th-ish round picks, 8th round picks. He's going like
True,
9th.
true,
We're in like I
true.
think 9th round at this point. So it's even cheaper. So
Right. Well, he's gone. So
yeah, it doesn't matter. We could do a Dak stack here if we want to go with Pickens. We could do Purdy if we wanted to do that. I know we mentioned both of those. We could add another receiver if we want to. There could never be enough receivers. I can go over roster construction here again in a second, just like based on what we think we need probably total. But I mean, do you want to get our first stack like under our belts, or what do you think?
yeah, we can. If we don't go stack, I would probably go Mooney here to just continue to add to our wide receiver core. But I'm
Yeah.
cool. I'm cool going. Quarterback too, or maybe we just wait to see which quarterback falls back. Is this our second pick in a row?
Yeah, this is our wrap pick. So
Gotcha. This is a wrap. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm cool. I'm cool with starting our stack. Let's do it.
okay. Dak or Purdy, gun to head.
Let's go, Dak.
All right, boom. We can also add, I think Jake Ferguson's a solid tight end add too, so we could add like a little bit more there. With Purdy, it's a little bit tougher to get too many other guys at this point because like obviously Pearsall's gone, Kittle's gone, CMC. Like you could you're looking more like the Jacob Coing or Watkins range, like way like last pick of the draft.
That's exactly why Dak is going ahead of Purdy.
Literally,
in this draft, right? Because normally Purdy would be going ahead of Dak, but because of the stack options you can get after these quarterbacks are taken in best ball, that's most likely why Dak his ADP is ahead of Purdy.
Yeah, and I think so. Most of my builds this year, I don't know how many drafts you've done on DraftKings this year. Most of my builds ends up being 3, 6, 8, 3. So 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers, and 3 tight ends. Just because it's 20 rounds, you can have the benefit of doing 3 on both sides of the tight end and the quarterback, which I find very nice because I struggle on other platforms balancing when I should do 2 in one, 3 in the other. Plan on one, but then all the quarterbacks are gone. It's tough.
Exactly. The stacks can get really tough, when you're only grabbing 2 quarterbacks. It can get really tricky. So yeah, and one thing I low-key like doing is like I like getting I mentioned Mooney, right? Yep. Sometimes I like getting Mooney and then just grabbing, Penix later too, right? That's another option, right?
100%.
Which is interesting. So especially if you end up drafting Bijan early, it could be a little interesting one there.
do you add Kyle Pitts in those scenarios or no? Because I have this
No, I don't.
dilemma of of like I have a stack and I like a guy that I just hate. I'm like, I don't want to draft this guy, but like, okay, I think it was like Luther Burden. I don't hate Luther Burden, but I had like Caleb,
Sure.
DJ Moore, and I'm like, I don't want Luther Burden. I was like, I think Loveland's gonna play more. Like, I think that
Right.
we're gonna see like way more 12 personnel. Like he's gonna be like a wider, like he's gonna be their fourth, fifth option. So I'm like, that's at least just my player take. But I'm like, stacking wise, I should take this guy, but like I don't want to take him. I want Bashal Tuden or something in the same range. Like I wanted someone else. So
Exactly.
I didn't take him,
Like,
but I'm curious your opinion on that.
I'm sure, the best ball bros will tell you that that's probably not the right thing to do. Is like
Almost
you just
certainly.
take them, right?
Yeah, almost certainly.
But like, hey man, we gotta have some fun, man. We gotta insert our player takes into this stuff, man. Otherwise, we're just like, well, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Who are we?
I totally agree. I know that there's like the actual strat is to like have like relatively flat exposures, maybe like a little bit more on certain players. That is just that's not how I live, and I'm willing to go live or die by my takes, by my players, by everything. Now I will have some exposure to most guys, but I can't do the flat exposure thing.
I'm with you.
Otherwise, I'll just like I don't know. I'll just go invest stocks or just do something else.
Exactly. This is football. This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, 100%.
It is a lot of fun when you win a lot of money. So I get it. I understand.
That's true, I guess. Yeah. If the flat exposure people win a lot, I mean, which they probably do.
Did Tyler Warren just come off the board?
He did come off the board.
Okay. Yeah. That's another one that I like, because these indie wide receivers and tight ends, dude, they're going off the board so late. And then you pick up the nice little stack with sneaky rushing quarterback, Daniel Jones. Yep. Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my, that's a stack that you could literally create in like after the first like 6 rounds, which is so rare.
Oh,
it really is.
I think we talked about it. I think I drafted Tyler Warren and Scott Fishbowl like 4 rounds too early, and I had like 10 people come to me like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like I'm a Tyler Warren guy. Like, come on, like this guy can play anywhere. Like they need weapons. Like they, obviously drafted him early. Like he's just a dog. Like he's
100%
40 plus snaps at like every position: quarterback, running back, out wide, in line, in the slot. In this final season in Penn State, I'm like, dude, this guy he's just a stud.
He's gonna be great.
We are in a decent spot here. We're up in 3 picks. We could go with, I think Drake May or JJ McCarthy could be interesting. We obviously have Justin Jefferson too. Drake May, though, allows us to probably grab, we probably have to reach on, maybe we can get Kyle Williams in the next kind of.
Yeah, there he is. 148. That's not bad. Yeah, I think we can. I think May is the move here.
Okay.
Hopefully he doesn't get taken right. Yep, we're on the clock. He's on the board. Let's do it, man. I love this.
Let's go. Yeah, this is a great team. This is turning out great.
Hey, man, that's what happens, man. That's what happens. We team up. You know what I mean? Like, and you create these teams, dude. Just remember,
I love doing
this. All right? I'm gonna Venmo you $10, just to make sure that we're that you have half of the entry. Like, I'm just letting you know right now.
Don't Venmo me $10. It's your appearance fee. That's what you get. So it's a $10 free roll. That's what you get for coming on the stream.
You're good to go. I love it. Okay, cool. All right, where are we at now? So I don't think, so like we can wait. Obviously, Kyle Williams is going much later here. So
we'll be fine.
40s. All right, who do we have here? This is the tough. This is tough.
Yeah, this is a pretty gross range.
We don't have a tight end, right?
We do not have a tight end right now. No.
Okay.
We could go Kraft. I don't mind Tucker Kraft. I don't mind Kincaid.
I think. Well, we were looking at another stack, right? With were we looking at Jake Ferguson? But I hate taking Jake Ferguson.
He goes way later too. Though. Like he's 140.
Oh, he's 140. Okay, gotcha. So maybe he's on the next pick. Okay. Yep. I think I'm okay going Kraft here. He's off the board. Never mind.
No, he's right here. Sorry, I scrolled through. So
I think he might be the move here, man. If you're looking at Javonte, Najee on the board right now, Christian Kirk is an option.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a huge ceiling though, but Kraft is somebody who has a high ceiling at tight end given this range, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of a weird range. Like I think Kraft is probably my go-to here. I think that there's a sneaky chance that the Packers throw more this year. They were super run heavy last year. But like a lot of that I think had to do with Jordan Love's injury. I think that also makes it interesting for Jaden Reed, who like basically never played in 12 personnel, which is like 2 wide receivers on the field. I think he had like 6% of the snaps, something like that. It was crazy low rate. So if they're playing more 11, they're throwing more. I think he could be an upside option. But same with Tucker Kraft. I think that we could see plenty of Tucker Kraft this year. And if they're throwing more, like this is like way more of a floor pick than a ceiling pick, because he'll produce. And so I think him or Kincaid could be interesting here too. So
you bring up a great point with Jaden Reed. I mean, he's like one of those guys, like he's going the middle rounds, right? Under the radar, but he remains like one of the most efficient wide receivers, and all he needs is more volume. He averaged like 4 targets a game last year, which is absolutely atrocious. But like you said, they were abnormally run heavy, right? So all they got to do is just become a little bit more balanced, and we could see a little bit of a spike, back from Jaden Reed, because he could still win you weeks, and especially in best ball, like he's somebody that should be targeted a ton.
Oh, totally. There's in games that are shootouts, like the betting markets usually don't correct enough on Jaden Reed's role. So like his line is usually like 40s, low 50s, best case. And like in shootouts, I mean, he just absolutely crushes. Like, if he sees 6, 7, 8 targets, like he's going to have 70, 80 yards, maybe even 100 something. So like alts on Jaden Reed in those shootout games are usually really interesting.
I love it. It reminds me of Stephon Diggs, like back when he was in Minnesota, and then before he went to the Bills, right? Like he was just averaging. He was alongside Thielen. He was in a run-heavy offense. He was getting like 4 or 5 targets a game. He was really good with those 4 or 5 targets, but it just like wasn't enough to make him anything more than like a wide receiver 3, right? And then he goes to Minnesota, starts earning like 11, 12 targets a game, and then just goes on to become a high-end wide receiver 1, right? So like I think, he's like capable of putting up those type of fantasy numbers. He just needs to get volume. And these type of things go up and down like every year, right? It's a volatile thing. Like just because he earned 4 targets a game last season doesn't mean that's going to happen this year. There's no way that can either stay the same or go down. So I feel like we're going to get a better Jaden Reed this year.
Yeah, and I think that Golden's another good like addition, but he like I envision him more in like a Christian Watson role, field stretching with maybe a little bit more than that. But I'm not super high on Golden this year. I think he's fine in best ball, but like I don't know. I kind of prefer some of the other options in the same range.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah, so like I think Reed's interesting. Ibuka again. These guys are all Ibuka's going after Golden. I'm not sure that that's necessarily entirely correct.
No, it's not. It's really not. All right, who's on the board here? We're 4 picks away here.
Yep, 4 picks away. Ferguson, Kyle Williams, both I'm totally fine. Bashal Tootin, Luther Burden, who I was just shitting on. But
I love I love Tootin in this range, man. If Tootin falls to us, I'm okay like foregoing the tight end or Kyle Williams stack even. Like my ideal scenario here is if we could go Bashal Tootin and then maybe Kyle Williams, to coming around. I think that'll be amazing.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. And then I think look at that. We were talking him up, and I think Bashal Tootin just went.
Are we live? Are we live?
Yeah, we are live. You think someone's screenshotting us? That's very possible.
100%. 100%.
Okay, we're on the clock. And I'm gonna Lion Pride, I think, took him. Do you want to go? I mean, anyone else here stand out? I think Ferguson's a good pick, considering we have Dak already too.
I think. I'm good with Ferguson or Kyle Williams here.
All right, let's do. I think we should go Kyle because there's no other receivers board.
There's no receivers,
and there's 3 tight ends left on the board. So let's go Kyle.
There you go. There you go, Connor.
I feel like that's a good tiebreaker, right? Just
100%. 100%. And honestly, who has more upside? Let's be honest. It's Kyle Williams. Right?
This guy just picked Jake Ferguson. All right, so now we need a fucking contingency option bastard. All right. All
right, here we go. All right, I'm looking at.
Yeah, go for it.
Ray Davis is off the board too, right? Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So listen, man. I'm not saying that CMC is going to get hurt, but like I think Guarendo is such a upside pick. That like in this range, like that's kind of who I'm looking at.
I think he's all upside. Like I think him and Eckler are like complete opposites in terms of this range. So like if I'm going with like if I do full 0 RB, like 5, and I have like 4 upside picks and I just need a little bit of a floor, I take Eckler. But if I already have some good running backs like Chase Brown, Hampton, Mason, like we have a good mix of floor and upside at our running back room. Like I'm going pure upside at this point. Like Guarendo, like
You know what's a crazy take, dude? I think Eckler is like a wasted pick in any format.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I really
Okay.
do. Because here's what we saw last year. When Brian Robinson went down, they inserted another running back into the mix alongside Eckler. Like
Yeah.
Eckler wasn't the guy, which really, really sucked. Like he wasn't even a handcuff,
No.
like he barely had standalone value. And then on top of that, like when the top guy goes down, they're going to insert random dudes, at the goal line in front of Eckler. Like, come on, you know what I mean? So I think the contingent value that you normally like to see from these types of running backs who might have a little bit of standalone value, usually that's there. But like I feel like with Eckler, it might not be, and it really, really sucks because like
Yeah.
I would love to see it.
I think like the only saving hope for Eckler was like some of the offseason stuff from Coach Speak Index that he compiled was basically them saying like we need to throw the ball to the running back more. We know that, which we know is not Brian Robinson, and so like I think that he'll play a good amount of passing downs, he'll have more catches. But again, like he's just like a, I don't know what do they call it, like a triple condom pick, basically. Like he just like it's just like 5 to 7, 8 points. Like he's just like scoring.
Why have I never heard that term before?
I think it was like Levitan or someone, one of the ETR guys coined it initially.
Of course, it was Levitan. Of course,
yeah, it's so
That's too
funny. It just like it's it applies very well to him. Like again, it's not optimal, not a good decision. But trying to play it safe. So I think that's kind of the only case for him here. Okay, so roster construction wise, we're at 2, 4, 6, 1. I think we're in a really, really good spot to kind of keep just playing the board how it falls to us, but also like start thinking about maybe another backdoor stack. Start thinking about, because we have a Patriots stack and a mini Cowboy stack with Dak and Pickens.
Yeah, what quarterbacks are left here? Did we go Tet? No, we couldn't get Tet, right?
No, yeah.
Okay, that's right. Okay. So we don't have anybody that we could stack with at the moment. I'm trying to think of receivers that could potentially be on the board. No, we could do a Jack Besh Geno stack,
You're right. That's what I'm seeing right now. One of the craziest things that I've getting a little crazy with it is I've been doing like some super late Jackson Dart, like Wandale, Slayton, Theo Johnson stacks.
Okay. Okay.
Just because like I think it's some
degen shit right there. I love
it. Oh, it is. But it's like last round pick stacks here because like their schedule is so hard. Like they're going to start like 1-6 probably. Like they're just totally.
Wait, who are you talking about? The Giants? Oh yeah. Oh my god.
So like
yeah,
Russ is probably going to get benched even if he plays fine. Like at some point. So I think Dart plays at least half the season. Anyways, all right, we need to back to the roll.
Okay.
What do we want to do here? We're up in 5 picks.
Oh man, this is rough. I would say like I think the guy's looking off the board. I think he just got picked.
Gino just went. Bigsby just went.
I'm feeling. Did Gino get off the board already?
We could go Hunter Henry here. That would add to our Pats stack, but then we have a lot of Pats. But that's fine. Gino did go already.
Oh, that's the move, man. 100%.
Okay,
I love that.
Yeah, I think that would be a good pick.
I agree. And I was looking at Besh and Gino. Is Gino off the board?
Gino's off the board, unfortunately.
Okay, so never mind. Yeah. I like that. I think that's the move, man. Hunter Henry's the move here.
Okay, we'll roll with Henry there. Now we're at 2, 4, 6, 2. Again, can really go wherever here. We're in an interesting spot to get one more stack. I don't know. We're gonna have to really back.
Oh, here we go. Is Daniel Jones still on the board?
He is.
Okay, we're going Alec Pierce, Daniel Jones. But the problem is that Daniels isn't going to be, probably.
He might be there when we get back. It says pick 188. So? We have pick 190. So we'll be holding our breath.
I'm cool going for it because if you think about it, Alec Pierce is going to have some games with Anthony Richardson or with Daniel Jones, right?
For sure.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
All right, let's rock Alec Pierce, and then we can hope Daniel Jones comes back to us. That would be a good stack. Either way, he's a fine best ball pick, anyways. Like
agreed.
Great best ball player. Later in drafts. All right, we're at 2, 4, 7, 2 in the build here. I mean, overall, I like it a lot. I mean, this is.
Yeah, I think the fact that we waited on tight end and we were able to grab Kraft and Henry, I think that's as solid as it could get, considering the fact that we waited so long.
Totally, and then we just got to round it off with T-Ferg at some point in the 18th or 19th rounds, and
there you go.
Then we got our third because we can. We're we're setting up for the. This is a lot of sex talk on the show today, but D-Bro was like one of our first guests on the show, and he labeled the 3683 the missionary build, and so that's like,
I love
like,
D-Bro, man.
It's hilarious, and just like in this format, like the DraftKings format, like it makes so much sense. Like you probably want 3 on each side, and then you want either 6 and 8 or 7 and 7, depending on your build. But usually you want more wide receivers because you start 3 receivers and a flex. So like,
exactly,
I mean, you can get 4 wide receivers in a lineup, and if you're capturing that volatility that receivers have, like it makes a ton of sense. So
we have how many? We have 6 right now. 6 receivers.
Yeah, we're at
right now?
2, 4, 7,
receivers
3.
right now.
Yeah.
Okay, 2, 4, 7. Okay, gotcha. 2, 4, 7, 2. We're at. So we have
2, 4, 7, 2.
one.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we can work with like maybe one more tight end. Pat Bryant's still your boy. Pat Bryant's still there. I think guys like Josh Palmer. Some sneaky stacks with Josh Allen this year too. Like you got like Josh Palmer. Like let me ask you a question, man. Is Elijah Moore like on your radar like at all? I'm just curious.
Not really, to be honest, at this point. But like, I mean, if you told me that he ended up being like having some productive games, I wouldn't say that's crazy. I just don't know if like, I think it's just over, man. Like,
it's over. Oh no, it's over for Elijah.
I mean, is he on your radar? Is he like one of your favorite last round picks or what? Like, is it?
No, because he's going so late that like he's like if my draft was 30 rounds, I feel like he still wouldn't be drafted. So like he's just somebody I have on my waiver wire. He's gonna be like in redraft. He's gonna be like on my waiver wire list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it's really hard to draft him in best ball, for sure.
I will say my last pick or two, what I've been doing is just scrolling way down and like trying to find guys that like won't be drafted at all, because then it like and just like stacking them. So like
Terrence Ferguson.
Yeah, well, Terrence Ferguson gets drafted. I'm saying like
oh, he does.
Jordan Whittington. I drafted like Jermaine Burton in a Bengals stack, like guys that are never drafted basically. But like if they pop ever, like you have like basically ownership of like a 1% owned guy in your pod. Like no one in your pod will own him. So
it wouldn't even be 1. It wouldn't even be 1%.
It'd be less than that. You'd be the only one probably in your pod.
Exactly. So. And I think and you mentioned like if you go with someone like Jermaine Burton, you're going with somebody who has like legit talent, right? He just has to like get it together, right? Like so that makes a ton of sense, man. I'm 100% with you on that. It's just about opportunity. If it happens, it happens. Keenan Allen's going so late too. I feel like he'll make an impact this year somewhere.
Where do you think he goes? You got any takes there?
Where do I think he goes?
Yeah, any
I had some feelings early on in the year. Like I thought he would potentially go to the Steelers. Like I think the Steelers are still an option. Potentially. Like I would imagine Aaron Rodgers would like another weapon there. I'm not sure if I'm buying the Calvin Austin hype. So I feel like Pittsburgh is an option. So he gets a chance to play with Rodgers. I don't know. Like what other teams right now are in need of a wide receiver? I haven't thought about this since like the draft.
Yeah, right. Like honestly, I don't know. That's why I keep like looking at it. I'm like, I just haven't clicked him that much because I'm like, I don't know where he makes sense. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, but like I look at what they did last year, and they were able, like the Bears, like he was competing with some good receivers, and he was still getting targets.
Totally.
All right,
Danny Dimes.
Dimes, baby.
All right, perfect. We can go Dimes, and then hopefully if we can get. I mean, I would love Pat Bryant on the wrap. If not, we could. Is there any other like let's see here, Colts players? Like, oh, sorry, the search bar here is a little bit interesting. All right, let's see here, Colts. I mean.
Yeah, AD Mitchell.
Like AD Mitchell is like a guy that you could draft in the last round that like no one is going to have. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
All right, let's see here. What else? We probably need another running back at some point, another 2 running backs at some point.
Okay.
Any interest in Lloyd?
Lloyd is
Smith.
For me, Lloyd is like the handcuff to Josh Jacobs. Like if Josh Jacobs were to go down, like just like how we picked up Garendo, I feel like a similar way with Marshawn Lloyd. I think he's capable of being an every down back. So I know he had his injury issues last year, and it was some freak issues too. Like I'm all about Lloyd at this spot of the draft. I think Brashard Smith can have some really good standalone value too, especially in full PPR. I'm not opposed to that at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like I think we talked about like kind of the upside case of Pacheco a little bit and like kind of his range of outcomes, and I think they're pretty wide. Like I think that he could come in, crush, and just be 100% fine and just like smash. But I think he could also just be, if he's cooked, like Brashard Smith is probably going to get a crack at it. And I mean, Pacheco was also like a super late round pick. I liked watching Brashard Smith at SMU. I'm like a big Kevin Jennings fan from SMU.
Okay, right.
I don't know if I'm really that much fan of like him as like a talent, but like I love watching him play. He just plays like Jameis Winston and just like bombs the
Right.
ball downfield and like
Yep.
just plays pure YOLO ball.
I love it.
So it was fun watching him and Brashard Smith, last year. So, but I think Lloyd, if he's on the clock, here would make sense. Man, it's tough because we could go Pat Bryant, we could go Lloyd. We probably need more running backs here because we only have 4 and 7 wide receivers. But
I kind of feel like we can get both. We can kind of get because we can potentially go.
I think we're on the second
Bryant.
half of the wrap, unfortunately. So because we got
we
Don.
are. Oh yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we just got Danny Dimes. That's right. Okay, let's go running back then. Let's go Lloyd.
Okay. Yeah, like I would probably prefer Pat in a vacuum if we're even on players. But considering we only have 4 running backs, 5 running, because we probably want to end up again 3, 6, 8, 2, and so we're at 3, 5, 7, 2 right now. So probably need 1 more running back, 1 more receiver, and 1 more tight end. Let's see where. Yeah, look at that. T-Fer going pick 223. Can add him to the queue. We got to just draft him out at this point. I don't even care if we pick him like around ahead of ADP. It's fine. We can. We got to get him to the team because that's how the show started. So
right. I love it. Okay, great. And then I think at running back, like what other running backs are available here?
There.
Just want to kind of get an idea. And
any
Brashard
of these
Smith's
guys
going
stand
how
out?
late? 211. And what pick are we at right now? We're like
We
185.
will have. Let's see here. Next pick is 214 and then 219. So
Okay,
could
so
get
there's
him.
a
I mean,
chance. There's
yeah.
a chance.
Like Corum, I don't know. I have no idea what to do with the Corum, Kyron, Jarquez Hunter stuff. I have no idea what to do with that.
I'm a huge Jarquez Hunter guy.
Okay.
I was not a big Corum guy, so I can totally see like Jarquez making an impact if Kyron goes down, right? But I just don't know what to make of it. I don't know who to pick because Sean McVay has his guys, and if Corum is his guy, then it's going to be tough to really determine what to do there. So it's really tough for me. I think Taj Brooks, he's really the only other running back in that backfield. Like if he's relatively good, like he could play that early down role ahead of Samaje Perine, if Chase Brown were to get hurt. But we also got Chase Brown. Like, do we really want to double dip in that Bengals backfield? Not really.
Probably not, right? Like
yeah.
I feel like I don't know. Like I feel
it doesn't
like
make sense.
You're playing for the upside outcome, so I'd almost rather just take someone random. Like I don't know. Like I don't even believe in most of these guys. Like I think Smith is somewhat interesting. I think Giddens is fine. Like Mostert is like almost purely just like a Gentry needs to get injured play. Same with most of these guys. Like it's just like, do you think these guys have value if someone gets injured?
Even Neal, I'd rather spend on Kendra later. Not spend, but like pick Kendra like super, super late than take Devin Neal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know much about Devin Neal, to be honest. Maybe that's
he's okay. I think he's a little overrated. Like he has his fans.
Yeah.
But like he's not really like he wasn't that good in college. Like he put up a lot of yards, cumulative yards, but like, on a per touch basis, like he wasn't that great, to be honest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this is why, you're a Senior Bowl guy, draft analyst, everything. So.
I appreciate that, man. But by the way, like for anybody in your audience, I actually created a document that if I was in just one league this year, and mostly this is for redraft, but if I was in one, I created a document that I kind of went over my entire strategy. So, and if you want that document, like just follow me on Instagram at Upper Hand Fantasy, and DM me the word blueprint, and I'll send you that doc over for free. All right, it's Upper Hand Fantasy. Just DM me blueprint.
Amazing, love it. Yeah, definitely check out your stuff. You're obviously just like absolutely crushing the Instagram game. So yeah, it's
appreciate
awesome.
You, brother.
And obviously you have your own subscription product and everything, like you mentioned. You have a ton of different guides and rankings, projections. So you guys crush, and that's why I wanted to have you on. So this is
hell yeah, man.
Also, this is hilarious. We got Steve chiming in. Thought this was a midseason MLB best ball stream. Can't say I like their team if this is for baseball. I guess if we were like at this point, like Jackson Dart could, doppelgang as a baseball player name.
100%.
Like it could make sense.
Hey man, Brashard Smith might drop to us here.
I know that would be pretty awesome. A Smith T-Ferg turn would be. I mean, that'd be pretty nice. And then we just go like whatever we want a receiver. Some crazy
BPA
pick.
at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. We could do.
Brashard Smith is he was extremely efficient in the receiving game in college, man. Like he was so good. And then he just played like 1 year at the running back position and like put up a ton of yards. But he did play the running back position earlier in his like life.
Oh,
And he's available. Let's go, man.
Richard
Let's
Smith.
go. Bashard Smith, man.
Beautiful. Rounds out our running back group: Chase Brown, Amarian Hampton, Jordan Mason, Isaac Guerrero, and Marshawn Lloyd and Bashard Smith. I mean, that is like, I think, a perfect mix of floor upside, contingent upside, like everything there.
I'm just sending a message to DraftKings real quick. I'm just gonna let them know, like, just send the check over now.
Literally, you sending your address right now? Is this
sending my address? Connor, we didn't win.
Yeah.
I just kept all the money for myself.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Okay, so we are so just to be clear, we're trying to get Ferguson here, right?
I think so. So we're at three quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 7 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. So we need probably 1 more wide receiver, 1 more tight end in this group. We're on the clock. I think we go T-Ferg.
Let's do it.
But if we want to look at wide receivers first too, in case there's anyone that stands out to you.
Sure. OBJ for good luck. But other than that, no. like I yeah, let's go to Ferguson, yeah, for sure.
All right, that's just easy, yeah.
It's funny because like Jalen Coker is here, and like he's like my I guess he's like my Dontavian Wicks of last year, right?
Okay.
Like, like the late round talented receiver who could end up like who you end up blowing all of your fab on in week 7.
Yep.
And then like it does nothing like the week after. Because all these other receivers are getting playing time over him, just setting us up for failure. Like that's
I just like I don't understand it because like all the offseason reports are like, yeah, he might not even make the team, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
I don't get it.
This is like their best player last year. I'm like,
yeah, I don't get that at all. It just goes to show sometimes, man. Like there are some really really good beat reporters,
yeah,
right, and then there are just some who just like straight up speculate,
totally,
which really just throws things off. For
also, like one of my favorite things is beat reporter projections. Like I think I saw like a Broncos one that came out. It was like, yeah, Marvin Mims might have a good year. Like he could even surpass 1,000 yards. I'm like, yeah, I mean maybe, but like that's a crazy like projection. Like that's like I was like it's like when Stephen Jones and stuff are like, yeah, we want all of our guys to touch the ball 15 times each. Like how many snaps do you think there are in a game? Like that's crazy. So
1,000 yards for him, like he's not even going to play more than like 50% of like the routes. Like he's not even going to be out there like that, dude. Like he's going to be sharing that role with Troy Franklin,
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's a lot of competition in the Broncos wide receiver room. Like you got Tim Patrick, fighting off. I'm sorry, Tim Patrick. I'm sorry, Devon Vele fighting off, Pat Bryant, for that big slot role potentially. Obviously Evan Ingram's going to be taking some targets. Marvin doesn't even have 1,000.
Exactly. I mean, this is like
Steve Boynton. Love it. It's so true,
Steve.
man. Like it's crazy, insane.
Oh my god. Yeah, it just like shows again your point. Like they just have no idea like conceptually of like fantasy, and there's obviously this disconnect. Like it's like if you were just reading that as an NFL fan, you're probably like, okay, like maybe, right? But like as a fantasy fan or someone who does projections, someone's like very numbers based, you're like, that is so outrageous. That just makes no sense. And so I thought that was funny. It's just like there's always a disconnect there. So to your point, I think Coach Speak Index does a pretty good job. I think 32 beat writers does a good job of aggregating them, but there still obviously needs to be taken with like a lens of
you always have to click the source. Yes. You always have to go and watch like our guys on our team, like whenever we put stuff out, like our rule is to go straight to the source. Like if we see it on Coach Speak Index, like we trust them, but like go watch that part of the interview, please. Like go find it. If you can't find it, don't post it. Don't talk about it. But like we have to know the context here. It's kind of like the whole like the Jets committee thing. That thing got taken, in my opinion, it got taken way out of context and way out of proportion. Because it's like they took something that the head coach said, and then all the headlines said that he said there's going to be a 3-man committee. And like you go back to what he said, that's just not what he said at all. But everybody ran with it, and I'm just like I didn't believe it to begin with, and then I actually heard him say it. I'm just like, this is not what he said. So
yeah,
but yeah, no, I hear you, man. You just got to like take everything into context and also take it with a grain of salt too.
Yeah, totally. No, that's a great important point there because you're going to see a lot of headlines in the next 2 months as we gear up. they're going to be like, wow, that's crazy. And then, if you don't do the extra research, I'm like, oh wait, they didn't actually even say that, or like, oh, they just like it's actually some beat writer's opinion
Right.
that is now getting aggregated for a headline. Like that's like someone could have taken that and been like, Marvin Mims expected to clear 1,000 yards or something like that.
Exactly.
Like, that's like that could be a headline, and then you're like, wow, that's crazy. I should draft Marvin Mims. When in reality, maybe you should, but not because of the headline. So
right, exactly. But meanwhile, it was from a beat reporter who just got on the beat like 6 months ago.
yeah.
Like, oh wait, this is not what we should.
Oh man. All right, we are up in 6 picks. We get one last YOLO pick at wide receiver. We have, obviously Dak at quarterback. We have Drake May. We have Daniel Jones. Absolute legend there. So let's see what we can get here. I mean, any of these guys stand out to you, or any like random picks in the last round? Because this is literally our last pick. So.
Oh, is this our last pick here? Oh
yep,
man, how many picks until our pick?
2 picks.
2 picks. Okay, gotcha. All right, so Bub means all the way up at 239, huh? That's an interesting one. If you keep scrolling down, let's just do this thing where we just keep scrolling until we find a name that we like. Oh geez, it's getting bad. This is just kind of fun though.
AD Mitchell still on the board.
You got to go AD, dude. You got to go AD here. You got to. You just have to. Sometimes you just have to make these decisions. You know what I mean? And just we have 20 seconds left. Keep scrolling. This is super fun. This is the best part of my day.
What do you think about Chisholm?
Sure.
I mean, what do you like? These are just like guys that
we already have the crazy Patriot stack. We might as well do Chisholm too. You know what I mean?
Right, let's lock in Chisholm. Like, this is a guy that no one is ever going to have, but apparently caught like 30 balls from Drake May immediately in camp, and was just like crushing it. He even said like, yeah, Chisholm's like catching a ton of balls. Role is very murky. Almost certainly doesn't play at all week 1. Maybe even a healthy scratch. But we're drafting for late season upside. He could pop. Right. Who knows?
Probably doesn't make the team, but but like great last round pick in best ball. Will he beat out Demario Douglas? That's the question. Probably not. But
yeah, probably not. They have a bunch of guys who are just like there. They're just like a bunch of. I mean, it's like the wide receiver core from last year plus Kyle Williams and Stephon Diggs basically. So like anyone with a pulse can probably do it. It just, does Chisholm have a pulse?
Is Chisholm a white slot receiver or no?
I'm pretty sure. I honestly don't know what he looks like. Let's see here.
Let's see a picture. Oh, he is. So he's definitely beating out, because this is a Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel. I'm sorry. This is a This is Josh McDaniel offense.
This is great.
This is a Josh McDaniel offense, and he's going up against Demario Douglas. I think Chisholm's going to win this job by default, right? Like that's just how this works, right?
He's going to do this just because we drafted him. So like, I think that he respects coin. Chisholm's a big coin respecter, and so let's see. I don't even know. I know literally nothing about him other than this random beat report that we got early in camp that was like, "Hey, this guy's kind of awesome." I don't even know where he is.
I think you're looking at a particular game log right now.
Was I? Okay.
Yeah,
I was looking, trying to click here his actual stats. I couldn't find him on the thing. Like he wasn't like the Eastern Washington. I don't think they have a college football reference. That's how funny it is. Like they're like not even a good enough team. That is absolutely hilarious. So let's hear.
Honestly, man, I'm feeling this team. I am. I'm feeling.
I love it. This is great. Let's hear draft board. Let me just see how this works. DraftKings just added this feature where you can tweet out your draft boards. I'm going to tweet out after the show's over here in a second. And I'll tag you and we could go from there. But yeah, so we went Jefferson, AJ Brown, Chase Brown, Hampton, Pickens, Jennings, Diggs. I kind of like that run there. That was nice.
Me too.
Mason, Prescott, Drake May, Tucker Kraft. Started our tight end run. Kyle Williams, Garendo, Hunter Henry, Alec Pierce, Daniel Jones, Marshawn Lloyd, Rashard Smith, T. Ferg, and Efton Chisholm, the third.
I love it.
That's good. He's just worst case, he's a good character guy. Like he's a good, he's good for the locker room for our team. Like he's
great for morale. You know what's so interesting? Like I agree with you, man. That wide receiver run that we made after Hampton, right? Like where it starts with Pickens, Jennings, Diggs. I feel like that was like a nice little run there. Because sometimes when you grab these running backs relatively early, you're like, okay, like, am I going to get those wide receiver values later on. And I think we were able to do that. So I'm pretty excited to win this money.
Exactly. Yeah. You'll find the check, in the mail sometime, or I'll deliver it to you in all cash in Vegas at some point. So
that would be that would work 100%. Let's just lose it all one night. Let's fuck it.
Oh man. All right, man. Well, this is great. Appreciate you hopping on. Tell the people, I know you mentioned some stuff earlier, but tell them where they can find you and what's coming up at Upper Hand Fantasy in the next couple
months. For sure. Find me over on Instagram. It's typically not the place people look for fantasy football stuff, but trust me, our content, is good. We show up every single day. You can hit me up on the, in DMs as well at Upper Hand Fantasy on Instagram. And again, like I said earlier, if you DM me the word blueprint, I will send you our free document. It just kind of goes over, it's a Google Doc, basically. It just goes over my entire strategy if I had one league this year and how I would draft in that one league. Upper Hand Fantasy. Appreciate you guys.
Love it, man. That's great. And as a reminder, don't miss out on DraftKings Best Ball Week. Draft one, get one offer. Enter a lineup in the $50 million Best Ball contest for just $20 like we did. And you get another Best Ball ticket to play for free for a share of $50 million. So I appreciate you all tuning in. I will be back actually tomorrow with another awesome guest. Chris Carlton finished third last year in Underdog's Best Ball Mania contest. So bringing in a massive winner. I think that I brought in a lot of content guys, and Chris has got the big bucks. So it's love to hear what he's got. But thanks again for everyone tuning in. For Faraz, I'm Connor. See you all tomorrow.